Hello and welcome to another episode of Elktech. I'm your host Brian, and today we are concluding our series on the insides of the computer and how it works. So at this point, if you're going through the building process video by video with this, we are now at the very end. The very last thing that we will choose is a power supply, alright? Now, I know that sometimes the power supply comes further in when you're studying for A+, so on and so forth, but you are building a computer. This should be your last place that you are. Why is that? Because you need to calculate how many actual watts you are going to need, and we're going to go through that here in a sec. So there are a few different types of power supplies. This is important because you picked out a case that's going to match your motherboard. Now, that form factor that your motherboard and your case are, so say you have an ATX style case or motherboard, then you'll need to get an ATX style power supply as well. So what we have is we have a couple of different types. You have your Advanced Technology, or AT. You have your Advanced Technology Extended, ATX. And then what you have is your ATX 12 volt and your EPS 12 volt. Now your ATX 12 volt, that is what you are probably going to be purchasing. Probably about 80 to 90% of all computers in your home are going to use the ATX 12 volt nowadays. Maybe an ATX. The EPS 12 volt is more for servers or really high-end workstations, but not for your home PCs. You're just not really going to see them in your home PCs. You're going to be wanting the ATX 12 volt. All right. So with the ATX or ATX 12 volt, you're going to have a couple of different connectors on there. In the upper left-hand corner, you have your 20 plus 4 pin connector. That's your power to the motherboard itself. So you'll plug that into the motherboard itself. Then when you look to the right of that, you have your SATA power. So you'll plug that into your hard drive, your CD-ROM drive, possibly a tape drive if you have one that has SATA on it. Anything that requires SATA power, that's going to plug. Then next to that, you have what is called your Mol-X. Your Mol-X is going to connect some of your fans. It could connect some of your old style CD-ROM and hard drives. Shouldn't be too many more of those around unless you're actually running an IDE. Below the Mol-X, you have another type of connector here, which essentially is going to connect some styles of, shall we say, your CD-ROM drives. So in some of your like slim style cases, you may have a specific CD-ROM drive that connects actually through this type of connector here, this bird keyed connector. And this connector is also going to be used on the motherboard for power to things like the fan or other things like fans and stuff, so on and so forth. The next to that, what you have is your 4 plus 4 pin. Now this is going to be used for your motherboard more toward the CPU. Some motherboards may only have the 4, whereas your higher end ones will use all 8 connectors to power that. Sometimes you'll have a second set of this 4 plus 4 pin or a 6 pin connector down by your graphics card slots on your motherboard, and this is also important to look for. On the far right, in the lower right hand corner there, you have your 6 plus 2 connector. This is going to be for your video card. Most video cards either use a single 6 pin connector, or they'll use all 8. Every now and again you may even get a video card that requires 2 6s or a 6 and an 8, depends on how high-end your video card is. But these are your basic connectors that you're going to be connecting within your computer. The last thing we're going to talk about is the wattage. So this is why we picked the power supply last. So when you are choosing your power supply, what you need to do is you need to make sure that your power supply is going to be able to handle everything that is in your computer. You don't want to go and get a 450 watt power supply and then it not be enough to power your video card and everything else that you need. There are calculators online, such as this one that I have up in front of you from Cooler Master. It's a really nice online calculator where you don't need to download or install anything. I will put the link to this in the description below. But keep in mind that when you go through this will give you the exact wattage of what it is that you need. So you're going to want to get something a little bit higher. If this comes out to, say, 410 watts, instead of going with a 450 watt power supply, you may want to go up to the 500 watts so you have a little bit of extra there. You may even want to go to a 6 or 650 so you have room to add things in the future. But this keeps you from having to just buy an 850 watt in order to, I hope this is enough. I'm just going to hope and pray. We should be able to take that out of the equation. Now, there's a lot more math that actually goes into the power supply, but I'm not going to get into that here. There's plenty of other resources for getting into the actual mathematics of your power supplies. But this is the basics for if you want to understand your connectors, where things go, and how to utilize this then to build your computer. So once again, thank you guys for watching. Check out my website if you're not already there. It's in the description below. There are plenty of other videos there, tips, tricks, how-to videos, and other series. So make sure you check those out. Also, make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel so you get all the latest videos as soon as they come out. Thanks again for watching. Enjoy, and I hope that this series has been a help for you.